Booster Gold, a time traveler from the future, using advanced technology to serve his one purpose, to make himself rich and famous, and almost accidentally becoming a true hero along the way. Born in the year 2442, Michael John Carter only ever wanted two things in life: fame and fortune. He eventually got them, albeit through questionable means, and not in his own century. Michael Carter, with the help of a powerful suit and his trusty robotic companion, Skeets, became Booster Gold, a time-traveling superhero who made it his mission to save people in order to fulfill his lifelong dreams. He grew up in the 25th century with hardly a care in the world, though his snarky personality often got him into trouble. Michael found that he had little use for school and therefore didn't try very hard. However, he did enjoy sports and gravitated toward them as he got a little older. Popular because of his outgoing personality, Michael ignored his studies and focused on the perks of being a popular athlete. American football was Michael's game of choice, and thanks to his large stature and exceptional speed, he excelled at it. He did so well that despite his terrible academic record, he received a university sports scholarship. Michael's attitude towards studying hadn't changed over time, though. Once again, he ignored his studies to focus on sports and socializing. His skills on the field, linked with his charisma, led to his becoming something of a celebrity on campus. He even got a nickname thanks to his accomplishments: Booster. All Michael wanted was to be rich and famous, but he didn't want to put in any effort toward obtaining that goal, which is why he failed academically. But at university, Michael saw what he thought was a golden opportunity to get rich without breaking a sweat, by betting on his own football games. As the most talented player on the team, he could rig the games to ensure that he could win big money from gambling. However, because of his poor abilities in mathematics, Michael wasn't able to cover his tracks very well, and was quickly discovered. As punishment, he was kicked out of university and barred from playing football ever again. Now lacking any sort of direction, Michael sought employment anywhere he could, and unwittingly set himself on a course that would change not only his life, but the past, present, and future as well. Michael found work in the 25th century's famous Space Museum, which showcased the history of space exploration. It was a menial position and started out being the worst experience of his life. Certainly not the road to fame and fortune he'd set his sights on. However, as a member of the museum's night crew, Michael was able to meet Skeets, a security robot programmed with a vast database of historical knowledge. Skeets and Michael became fast friends, and they spent much of their time at work talking about Earth in the 20th century. Michael became quickly obsessed with the era, particularly the adventures of the so-called superheroes and their villainous foes. Ever scheming, Michael decided that if he could travel back in time to become a superhero, he could achieve the fame and fortune he longed for. With Skeets' help, Michael stole several items from the museum, including a flight ring and force field belt donated by the Legion of Superheroes during a time visit from their 31st century existence. He also liberated a pair of powerful energy-shooting gauntlets, and a tight spacesuit that enabled the belt and gauntlets to work in synergy with each other. Dressed like a hero from 5 centuries earlier, Michael stole one more item from the museum, a time machine belonging to the 20th century time traveller Rip Hunter. Michael decided to take Skeets with him on his journey to the past. He figured the Little Golden Robot's historical database could provide him with valuable information on high-profile crimes in the progress. Michael planned to show up, use his futuristic outfit and weapons to save people, and get the credit and the glory for his brave deeds. Michael was sure his plan would work out flawlessly, and it did. At first. Michael's first act of heroism was saving the life of the President of the United States from a supervillain named Chiller. The President was so grateful that he awarded Michael a medal. During the presentation ceremony, the President asked Michael what his name was. Having previously picked the name Gold Star to reflect the golden star in the center of his uniform, Michael tried to introduce himself as such. However, because he was incredibly nervous at the ceremony, he blurted out his old football name, Booster. He tried to recover by correcting himself and saying Gold Star, but he was only able to get out Gold before the President introduced him to the world as Booster Gold. The name stuck, and a new hero was born. Michael was now Booster Gold. Michael may have had a secret identity as a hero, but he also had a second secret identity as a regular citizen. He and Skeets had also stolen an ancient Earth credit card from the Space Museum. The name on the card was Jesus Alvarez, and despite being blonde and blue-eyed, Michael took the unlikely name as his first alias, since he was using the card to make all of his purchases in the 20th century. Because he had saved the President's life, Booster Gold soon became a household name. Now based in Metropolis, Booster found opportunities to perform many acts of heroism. He used his fame to garner the support of several corporate sponsors who financially supported Booster's heroic lifestyle in exchange for product endorsements. He was finally achieving his lifelong dream of fame and fortune. In the process, however, Booster Gold came to the notice of Metropolis's guardian superhero, Superman. Superman found Booster's decision to accept sponsorship and money for saving people's lives distasteful. Even though he desperately wanted Superman's approval, Booster carried on with his hero-for-hire career regardless. Booster Gold had become a very popular hero in the eyes of Metropolis and the world, but his reputation took a big hit when billionaire mogul Lex Luthor created an android version of him and programmed it to commit crimes. The android was stopped by Superman, but Booster had to face public opinion that no longer believed in him as a hero. A rebellion against superheroes in Metropolis sometime later caught Booster Gold off guard. A mob attacked him, injuring him severely and nearly destroying his suit. Without his costume, he was powerless, so Booster returned to the future to get his outfit repaired. While home in his own time period, Booster got in touch with his sister, Michelle. Equipped with a special suit of her own, she eventually became Gold Star, Booster's sidekick. Tragically, Michelle was killed in action, leaving Booster Gold heartbroken. Returning to the past, Booster learned that the Guardians of the Universe sought to unleash the next step of human evolution, triggering something called the Millennium Crisis. Booster Gold joined the Manhunters, a group of autonomous robots bent on destroying humanity. The Manhunters had also been stealing from Booster's fortune, and the once popular hero hoped that by joining them he could recoup his losses. Unfortunately for Booster Gold, heroes like Superman and his colleagues in the Justice League of America felt that Booster was a traitor for joining forces with the bad guys. Booster then learned that a planet-destroying device had been placed in the center of the Earth. He disarmed it, saving the world and restoring the JLA's trust in him. Unfortunately, however, the Manhunters had bled his finances dry. Booster had to declare bankruptcy and even considered giving up his superhero lifestyle. Michael John Carter's life hadn't turned out as he had intended. He'd achieved fame and fortune, but lost them both. He'd seen his sister die while serving as his sidekick. All seemed lost for the man who had become Booster Gold. It was while he was at his lowest point, however, that an unexpected invitation came his way. He was asked to join the Justice League. Booster Gold had long looked up to the Justice League, especially Superman. Even though they disagreed on how to be heroes, he had a great respect for the Man of Steel. Following a galactic calamity known as Legends, where Earth fought off the forces of Brainiac, a new Justice League was formed. Billionaire Maxwell Lord saw the power that the Justice League possessed, and through an agreement with the League's long-standing heroes, such as Superman, he formed the Justice League International. Lord funded the League's expansion, and as such was given permission to recruit new members for the team. Among his first recruits was Booster Gold. Michael was overjoyed to sign up with the Justice League International. He felt it finally gave him legitimacy as a superhero. Furthermore, he met his new best friend on the team, another new recruit, Ted Cord, known as the Blue Beetle. Booster and the Blue Beetle quickly became inseparable. They were rarely seen apart from one another, and were usually assigned missions together because the Justice League colleagues usually found the duo to be irritating and occasionally infuriating. Booster and Blue Beetle came up with numerous get-rich-quick schemes together, from repo services to running clubs. Maxwell Lord was not amused. He punished their recklessness by making them the Justice League's janitors. Though Booster and Blue Beetle both enjoyed their schemes, they realized they had become jokes among the League and sought to fix their reputations. They temporarily left the JLA to start their own hero team, a corporate-sponsored group known as the Conglomerate. The Conglomerate, made up of lesser-known and less effective heroes, quickly folded, and Booster Gold and Blue Beetle eventually rejoined the League, taking their duties much more seriously this time. Both Booster Gold and the Blue Beetle were members of the Justice League when a Kryptonian monster broke free of its underground prison and unleashed havoc on Earth. The monster savagely assaulted the League, nearly killing Blue Beetle and destroying Booster's suit. When Superman arrived to aid his JLA partners, an embattled Booster referred to the monster as Doomsday, a name that stung. Doomsday then killed Superman in a vicious battle, and the Justice League was left in shambles. Without his suit, Booster Gold was powerless, and thus had no place in the League. He again considered retirement, but returned to fight for justice when Blue Beetle, who was also a brilliant scientist, was able to provide him with a makeshift new suit. This suit didn't last long, however. It too was destroyed in a vicious battle, in which Booster also lost an arm. Blue Beetle came to the rescue once again, creating another new uniform, which also had a robotic arm to replace Booster's lost one. The only caveat was that Booster could not take off his uniform and keep his arm at the same time. Permanently encased in his new suit, he joined a new branch of the Justice League called Extreme Justice. During his time with Extreme Justice, Booster made a deal with the seemingly reformed supervillain Monarch. Monarch restored his arm, thereby freeing him from the prison of his suit. After yet another suit was created, Booster once again quit the Justice League. His old boss, Maxwell Lord, had been exposed as using the League for personal gain, and the League's connection to him was severed. Lord, claiming that he'd repented his selfish ways, contacted several members of the League, including Blue Beetle and Booster Gold, and asked for their help in forming a new team he was putting together. This team, called the Super Buddies, were essentially Maxwell Lord's heroes for hire, a role that Booster had become comfortable with over his career. Nevertheless, they disbanded after a few short missions. Feeling once again that his life was directionless, Booster Gold returned to superheroism for hire. However, his world would come crashing down when his best friend, Blue Beetle, was brutally murdered by Maxwell Lord. His murder set in motion a cosmic crisis that affected every superhero and human being in the entire universe. Booster desperately wanted to avenge his friend's murder, but was not given the chance, as Wonder Woman killed Lord first. Booster tried fighting alongside his former Justice League allies during the crisis, but didn't see much action. However, as the crisis came to close, Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman all disappeared for a year. It was up to Metropolis's other hero, Booster Gold, to take up the role of protector of Superman's hometown. Booster tried very hard to rise to the occasion, but found it difficult because his mechanical sidekick, Skeets, seemed to be malfunctioning. Booster was failing as a hero. After facing off against Elongated Man and messing up several rescues, Booster fell into a deep depression. Skeets was no help either, as the historical information he provided was eventually proved faulty. Not even meeting his 21st century ancestor helped Booster Gold overcome his frustration and depression. To make matters worse, a new hero named Supernova was establishing himself as Metropolis's new favourite son. Falling into old habits, Booster set up crimes that he could easily foil in a misguided attempt to regain his popularity. The people of Metropolis soon discovered this deception and turned against him. It became a PR disaster. Booster turned again to Skeets to help him find a real one. The robot sent Booster to fight a monster on the waterfront, but Booster Gold was apparently killed in the confrontation. It was also discovered that Skeets had been corrupted by the worm-like supervillain Mr. Mind. With the help of Supernova, Rip Hunter, a time-travelling hero, joined the fight in the 21st century and stopped the corrupted Skeets. It was revealed that Supernova was actually Booster Gold. It turned out that Booster and Rip had realized Skeets had been compromised and used time travel to fake his death and set up the rivalry between him and Supernova in the present day. With Mr. Mind defeated and Skeets repaired, Booster turned the Supernova reigns over to his ancestor, Daniel Carter. Daniel used the Supernova's suit powers not to fight justice, but to play video games all day, every day. Booster then joined Rip Hunter as a guardian of history. The two time travelers have taken great steps to ensure that historically proper courses of events take place in their respective time periods. Booster Gold has struggled with allowing tragedy to unfold. He even went back to try and stop Blue Beetle's murder. He successfully did so, but this unleashed an even worse series of events on the world that had to be rectified quickly. Booster learned a powerful lesson about the effects of tampering with the past. As Booster Gold, accompanied by a new and improved Skeets 2.0, travels through time, he has been developing a new reputation, that of a true hero. Still snarky and with a sense of humour that challenges authority, Booster Gold has become one of the greatest heroes of all time, and he should know, for Eternity is now his area of operations. Regardless of his current whereabouts or whenabouts, Booster Gold has become as famous, or perhaps infamous, as he always hoped to be. He may not have the fortune he dreamt of, but one thing's for sure. He certainly has become an epic-scale superhero.